In today's class, we will be discussing about the data analysis syllabus, and then we will be seeing about the core responsibility about the data analyst, and also we are going to see about the life cycle of the data analysis project. Okay, so these things will help us understand and place us in much better position. Okay. Now, before I start, I wanted to ask you this question. Okay, when you go to Amazon, how does it know what products to recommend? This is the first question where I want you to think. Then, the next question is, and how does a hospital know which medicines to stock before a flu season? This is something that, we have to think. And while you're thinking this one, while you're trying to answer this question, we will be able to discover and understand what is data analyst or data analyst does. Okay, how does you take up a Swiggy or you take up a Zomato, which restaurants to show at the top? Have you ever asked this question, or have you ever tried to answer this question or think about this? Now, the first question is, when you go to Amazon application, you will see a lot of products getting recommended for you, and those products are personalized products for you. And then if you go to a hospital, and how does a hospital know which medicine they have to stock? Because most of the time, when you go and ask any medicine, during the flu, they make sure that you have that particular medicine and they give it to you. So how does a hospital know which medicine stock to order before flu season? The next question is, how does Swiggy and Zomato know which restaurant to show at the top? While you answer this question, we are arriving at a very beautiful topic. We are trying to understand that behind each question, if you want to answer all these questions, behind each, a data analyst is a person who's looked at the data, found patterns here, and helped the company make decisions. So if you want to answer here, who could be the right person to answer? Behind, so I will give you one simple text here. Behind each, a data analyst is present. Behind each, a data analyst is present who looked at the data, and he not only looked, he also found some patterns. Okay, we will be studying more in detail how to find pattern, what are the patterns that we can usually find, and how these patterns are existing in the data. All these things we will be discussing. And this data analysts are looking at the data, found they are finding patterns, and help the company make decisions. So if you are planning to be a data analyst, so behind each question, a data analyst looked at the data, found patterns, and helped the company make a decision. So this is what a data analyst is doing. Okay, this is what a data analyst is doing. And do you think this data analyst is a person that we can skip? Because most of the companies, most of the organization, most of the process depends upon the data analyst, and only then they will be able to make a successful revenue or a successful business. So can I define what is data analysis? Okay, so I'm giving a definition for data analysis. Okay, so the definition says that a data analyst is a bridge. Okay, is the bridge between raw data meaning it is not in a useful format, it is not in a useful format. And he's trying to connect, or he's trying to bridge between raw data and business decisions. If you are able to understand this more in detail, I will be discussing about this one. What is data analyst? So as of now, the data analyst is the bridge between a raw data and a business decisions. Very soon our answers or the definition will mature over a period of time, but at this junction we say that a data analyst is a person is acting like a bridge between the raw data and the business decisions. Clear? Yes. Are you able to get some crux? Yeah. Okay. So the next part, what I want to discuss here is I want to give you the syllabus for data analysis, so that what are the things that we are going to cover. and all these things you will be able to get more details, and I am trying to keep it as simple as possible, and also I'm trying to keep it a lot of practical things I will try to add. So here I'm going to list out the data analysis syllabus that we will be studying, and I'll try to keep it simple and also try to add a lot of practicals in it. Clear? Okay. Now, what is the first thing that you need to learn under data analysis syllabus? The first thing that you need to learn under data analysis syllabus is you need to learn something called as Python. This Python is a programming language. Don't get overwhelmed that Python would be difficult. I'm not a programmer. I'm not from a science background. I'm not from a technical background. I will try to teach it as simple as possible, and you will be able to understand it, provided if you are able to do all the assignments and complete and listen in the class, you will be able to understand this programming language. Okay, so Python basics I'll be covering as part of the syllabus, and then I will also try to teach you something called as Python based libraries, or I will say that core libraries called as pandas and NumPy we will be studying. Okay, why am I giving you all this one? Because you need to understand what are the things that we are going to cover as part of the data analysis syllabus, so that this will be helpful for you. In the day one you are given the syllabus, what are the things that we are going to do, and every day we will be trying to complete the syllabus and try to complete it step by step, so that you are aware what we are learning ahead of time. Okay, the first topic I will be covering in the class as part of the syllabus is Python basics plus and some core libraries called as pandas and NumPy. So what is pandas, what is NumPy, all those things I will explain it at the junction while we are going. But as of now, I don't want to keep you, a blind, blindfolded. I'll try to see how I can give you what is this Python all about. So you can imagine Python is the language. Okay, I can say Python is a language where we use this language to talk to data, because data analyst is always working with the data. So Python is a language where we use to talk to data. Python is a language we use to talk to data, where we used to talk to data. Okay, that's the first point that you need to remember. And the next thing is that what is pandas and numpy then? Okay, pandas and numpy are special tools. Okay, pandas and numpy are special, are special tools that make handling big tables, because you will not be working on small data, small sample of data. All these huge data will be stored in the format of a table. So in order to work with huge data and would work with huge tables, you need a tool. For that tool, we use something called as pandas and numpy. So pandas and numpy are special tools that make handling big tables and numbers easy. Okay, so this is the point that I want to give you. Okay, what is the second topic? I also want to give you where is it used. If I say we have to study this one, and if I don't say where it is used, you will not be able to understand why do I need to study Python basics and core libraries, pandas and numpy. I'll give you an example where it is used. Say for example, you take up banks, any bank, you take up any hospitals, you take up any applications like Swiggy, Zomato, or Blinkit, or Zepto. All these companies predominantly work with the data. Every companies like banks, hospitals, and apps of e-commerce apps, predominantly they work with the huge data. So in order to work with this huge data, you need to use Python language to clean the data, organize the data, and calculate the data. You need these tools. Okay, so I will say that every company that works with the data, it could be banks is always closely related to data. Okay, and hospitals are related to data, and apps, or I can also say e-commerce apps, all these things uses Python to clean the data, organize the data, organize the data, and also calculate the data. Okay, so this is where you will be using Python basics. The next important topic what you will be studying as part of data analysis is something called as the core important thing, data analysis, and you will be using something called as statistics. You will be using, I will be teaching you statistics. Okay, statistics you will be using, and you will be using something called as EDA. 1 minute guys, I hear some Santosh, can you go on mute please? Okay, so you use something called as data analysis, statistics, and something called as EDA. EDA something we can abbreviate it as exploratory data analysis, and I will also be teaching you something called as hypothesis testing. Okay, and I will also be teaching you something called as feature engineering. Feature engineering. So I will, as in the second topic, I will be covering what is data analysis, what is statistics, what is EDA, that is exploratory data analysis. I'll be covering what is hypothesis testing and feature engineering. Okay, all these topics are part of data analysis, but let me give you a small hint what it is, and also I'll give you a hint where it is used. Okay, so I will say that this is the heart, whatever you are seeing here, right? Data analysis, statistics, and ED, and hypothesis testing and feature engineering. This is the heart of data analysis. So, meaning if you want to be strong in data analysis, you need to learn these particular topics and concepts of solidly. And if you're learning these concepts solidly, you will be able to understand the data analysis as the core of the heart very easily. So what is this one? This is the heart of data analysis. And what is it helping us to do? It is cleaning data and asking questions. Okay, asking the right questions and finding patterns and preparing data for decision making. See, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. Maybe when we are heading to that junction, I will explain it more in detail. But for now, I want you to understand what are the things that we are learning. So that is the reason I'm trying to give it. So data analysis, statistics, ED, and hypothesis testing and feature engineering are the core major important concept. You should never skip this one. This is very important. I will try to keep it as simple as possible. Now let us understand where it is used. So I will say that it is from figuring out which product sells best in laptop, okay, best in laptop. And then I would say that to predict which patient may need an hospital care, to predicting which patient may need care in hospital. So these are abstract examples where I'm trying to say that, from if you want to find out which product have been sold highest in a particular category, or to predict something, this particular concepts will be useful. Okay, can I proceed little further?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The third important topic, what as part of data analysis you should be learning, is SQL. SQL is something that where most of the time most of the time our datas are not stored just as files and folders. It is stored in the form of tables. Understand clearly? In the real world, most of the data are stored in the form of a tables. In order to speak to these tables, we have a language by name SQL or SQL. So this language is very important for us because we are talking with the data, and most of the data are stored in the form of a tables in the database. So this particular SQL language is important for us to learn so that we can talk to the tables, we can talk to the DB and speak to the table and get a lot of things done. So we are going to study about basics to advanced SQL we will be covering. Okay. So again, what it is, I will give you for people who are new to this data analysis world. SQL is the language. Okay. SQL is the language for talking to database. Now, where most company data lives. What is a database? It is a place where most of the company data lives. So let me say where most company data lives. Okay. Now, where is it used? Why is SQL used? And so that you will be able to understand more in detail. Where is it used? Okay. Now, you take up an example like we have every apps like Swiggy, or take up Amazon application, or any bank for that application. All these applications stores our data in the database. Say for example, you're taking your banking, your HDFC net banking. So you're taking a Swiggy application, you're taking Amazon application. They remember what was your latest transaction, what was your last purchase order, when was your last transaction. So all these datas are stored in the database, and SQL is a language where it can speak to the database and get these data. Okay, so let me put it. Every app like Swiggy and Amazon and then banks stores the data in databases. And SQL lets us quickly fetch these data. Okay, so it could be which customer bought the most, or which city has the highest sale. So whatever data is present in the database, it will help us to fetch those particular data. The fourth important topic where you will be using, or where we will be studying, is called as Power BI. What is this Power BI? Power BI is a tool by Microsoft, where this tool will help us create dashboards, highly engaging dashboards, good visuals, and good reports and charts, so that instead of directly throwing some numbers at the stakeholders, we are creating some meaningful charts and dashboards and reports, so that even a non-technical person looking into the chart, looking into the dashboard, looking into the report, they will be able to understand the story behind the data. So that is why this reporting tool, or this dashboard tool, is very very important for a data analyst. So Power BI covers projects we will be doing in Power BI, visuals we will be showing, and we will be also creating some dashboards. So big organization, they will be using all these things. So what it is, Power BI, what it is, I am saying that a tool to make charts, dashboards, okay, dashboards and reports. So anyone can understand the story behind the data. Okay, where is it used? Okay, where is it used? I will say that this particular Power BI tools are used in business reports, are used for as a dashboards for managers, are used by salesperson for tracking sales, and also used by the institutions to track the students' progress. Okay, so let me write. It is used in business reports, dashboards for managers. So while you are being a data analyst, when you're preparing all these things, you will be in great demand, because you are trying to generate or drive meaning from this particular data, and you're presenting some beautiful insights, so you will be in high demand. So four things: Python basics we are learning, data analysis, statistics, EDA, hypothesis testing, and feature engineering. Third part you are learning is SQL basics to advanced, and the fourth thing what you're trying to learn is Power BI projects and visuals and dashboards. And the fifth most important thing what you're going to learn is called as Snowflake. What flake? Snowflake. Okay, Snowflake. And also I'm going to introduce you to a little bit of cloud environment. So Snowflake, AWS, and business intelligence integrations I will try to cover, because if you are trying to go as an experience, so up to 1 to 4, if you are learning, or if you are showing 1 to 4 topics you are learning, you can claim as an 1 or 2 years of experience. If you want to claim 3 or 4 2, 3 or 4 more years of experience, you need to learn this Snowflake, AWS, and business in BI integration, because it gives you an upper hand where you can place yourself as an intermediate data analyst, not as a fresher data analyst. Okay, so under Snowflake, AWS, and BI integration, what is that you will be using? What it is? It's very simple. AWS is a cloud platform. It is a cloud platform where this platform helps us to store huge amount of data, and we will be able to connect with business intelligence tools for real-time insights. Say, for example, I'm opening my YouTube site. Okay, when I'm opening my YouTube site, I am going to my particular channel here. While I visit the channel here, it gives you something called as, some yeah, it gives me some data about the recently uploaded. See, it is saying that it was this particular thing. It gives me the analytics. This is where it plays YouTube data, because YouTube has so much of video content, and it cannot be stored in a local environment. It has to be stored in a cloud environment. And while it is storing on the cloud environment, it is also connected. YouTube is also connected with an analytics tools or a business intelligence tool, where it is helping me drive or give me the analytics of the last posted video. It is giving me how many views it has gone, what is the watch time, how many subscribers have increased during this one, and what's the average view duration, and what's the average percentage viewed. So all these data we will be able to get it. So if you want to do a project in real time, that is, in most of the companies will have their data in cloud. So for that, you need to have some understanding about Snowflake, AWS, and BI integration. So cloud platforms that stores huge amount of data, huge amounts of data, and connect with the BI. BI is called as business intelligence tools for real-time insights. Now, might you ask me, where is it used? Where is it used? I would say that, business report, say when companies have massive data, like for example, Amazon orders. Could you imagine that, Amazon orders are so much huge that we cannot contain it in an environment. You have to put it in cloud. So when companies have massive data like Amazon orders or Netflix viewing habits, all these are huge data, and we have to store it in the cloud. And then based on the cloud, we can also connect these data to the business intelligence tools, so that these tools can derive some insights and it will help us. So I would say that when companies have massive data, examples like, I would say, Amazon orders, and then I would say Netflix viewing habits of the subscribers. So all these things, they store it in the cloud, and analyze from there. Okay, so this is where Snowflake, AWS, and BI integrations are widely used. And the last most important thing, what I'm going to give you as part of this course, is I'm going to give you one end-to-end Power BI projects. Okay, Power BI projects I will be giving you. Now you need to understand that first, as part of Python, as part of the Python, we will be learning all the programming fundamentals, and then I will be teaching you about data analysis concepts, statistics, EDN, hypothesis testing, and feature engineering. So for every session, for part one, we have one project. For part two, also we will have another project. For SQL, also I have another project. Power BI, there is another project, and the fifth module also has another project. After finishing all these five modules with the respective projects, and then you will have the sixth project where it will connect all these six topics, where it is complete end to end. You need to first gather the data, clean the data, and do a lot of exploratory and hypothesis testing and feature engineering, and then you are trying to collate it and put it in Power BI, and then try to find patterns, and then try to find, you're trying to display it in a meaningful information like dashboards, reports, and various other things. So I will try to also get you one good Power BI end-to-end projects, where what it is I will give you here. What it is, taking data from different sources, not only from one source. It could be from a Excel data, it could be a CSV file, it could be an API that we are trying to fetch it. So from it could be a DB that we are trying to connect and take the data. So taking data from different sources, taking data from different sources, and then I will try to clean the data, cleaning it, because without cleaning it, we will not be able to derive some, or we will not be able to analyze the data. After cleaning it, we will try to do analyzing it. And after analyzing it, we are trying to making dashboards out of it. Okay, dashboards. And later from this dashboards, we are trying to build a sharing insights. So this project will have all these things, and I will help you build a project on this one. And also, if you have any other project you feel that we can also do this project, feel free to share your ideas, so that we will also try to see if it is feasible, it will help all of us, then we will definitely do that project also. So it is not necessary that you need to stick on to what project I am sharing and I am teaching. If you find, or if you have an unique idea that this project is not at all there, but it is going to help all of us, then we will certainly do it. Where is it used? It's used in real company style projects where you act like a data analyst. Okay, so here in this 3 months, I would need somewhere around 3 months of class to teach all this one. So if you are regular and attentive in the class and doing all the assignments, I would promise you that you will be able to gain 2 to 3 years of experience as a data analyst, and you will be job ready, not certificate ready, job ready to take up the job and do it. Clear? Yes. Everybody clear? Any questions so far? Can I proceed further? You want me to write like
Yes, sir.
this and explain? Is it okay, or you don't like me? You don't want me to write like this? I want everybody's answer, so that I would plan my teaching accordingly.
This is fine.
Fine, everybody. Thank
Yeah.
you. Fine, everybody there. Okay. So I also like to write in the whiteboard and explain, so that it will be a reference copy that everybody we will be able to understand and refer at any time. Okay. Now, by the end of this course, you are just not learning tools. You will be able to take any messy data, clean it, analyze it, and show insights in beautiful dashboard. This is the same skill companies pay data analyst for, and this is the first step towards AI and machine learning. So remember this one. You are not only learning tools, you will be job ready. To take up any sort of a data analysis project and try to work on those projects, build those projects, and try to claim yourself that you are job ready. Okay. The next second agenda in this class is, what is the responsibility of the data analyst? Core responsibility of data analyst. Because if you are understanding this part, you will be able to get more details. Clear? Yeah.
Yes,
Core responsibility of a data analyst. What are the core responsibility? The first and the foremost thing, guys, this is very, very important. If you are able to understand this responsibility of the data analyst, you will be able to understand 30 to 40% of what data analysis work is all about. If you are not able to understand this one directly, I get into some programming and teach you some SQL, you will not get the complete picture. So let me explain what is the core responsibility of the data analyst. The core responsibility of the data analyst is very, very important, is to understand the problem. If you are not able to understand the problem, you will not be able to derive, or you will not be able to solve anything. Okay, what is this understanding the problem? So you will play a major role asking the right questions before jumping into the data. Okay, ask the right questions before jumping into data. Okay, what is the first and the most important role of a data analyst? Understand the problem. So what role does he or she has to play? He or she should be asking the right question before jumping into the data. Okay, can we have some example around it, so that we will be able to understand what is sort of a right question that this he or she should be asking? Okay, Now, example says that, the business, a telecom company says that, business is saying that, BSNL company or BSNL telecom are losing customers. So BSNL company is saying that we are losing customers. So you being a data analyst for the BSNL telecom, you need to ask the right question, so that only when you ask the right question you will be able to solve a problem. So the data analyst business problem is what? Business problem is, they are saying we are losing customers, but you need to, as a data analyst, you need to reframe. Data analyst reframes the question like this: can we find which customers are likely to leave in the next 90 days? See, we are all losing customers. That is the global problem. But as a data analyst, for the next 90 days, let us potentially target who are the likely customers who are going to leave this particular BSN telecom. If we have that data, we will stop this one immediately. Are you able to understand how a data analyst is trying to solve this one? Can we find which customers? Can we find which customers are likely to leave in the next 90 days? In the next 90 days. If we have an answer for this, then we are in the right direction. So the core major responsibility of the data analyst is to understand the problem and ask the right question. Did you get the first point clear? Hello guys, is the first
Yes,
point
sir.
clear?
Yeah.
The second concept, what you need to do, the second core responsibility of the data analyst is to collect and prepare data. What is this collect and prepare data? Imagine that, data does not exist in one source. Data does not exist in one format. Data does not exist in one size. Data does not exist in one place. So data exists in various formats, various size, in various places. So we as a data analyst, our core responsibility is to collect all these data together. Sources could be, it could be from a database, SQL database. Okay. It could be from an Excel sheet, or it could be from a CSV file, or it could be from any APIs, or it could be from a third party application. So data should be collected from all these places and put together in one place. Okay, so the data analyst second core responsibility is to collect and prepare the data. So can we see an example for it? Example what I can give you here is, an e-commerce site, it is pulling the customer purchase history and customer service complaints from different places. And an e-commerce analyst pulls customer purchase history plus customer service complaints from various places, and he will try to gather it. Okay, after gathering it, see, you're not only collecting it, you are also supposed to prepare the data. Preparing the data meaning cleaning the data. Say for example, in the fruit example, I said that not all the fruits that we are collected would be good to eat. Some would be filled with dirt, some would be rotten, so we need to clean the data. Likewise, cleaning removes, we need to remove duplicates. Sometimes, one customer would have repeated twice, so we need to remove the duplicates and fix missing addresses. Say for example, customer email address is there, phone number not there, customer age there, customer, postal code is not there. So like that, you need to fix the missing addresses. And sometimes the date format from different sources, the date would be in different format, the phone numbers would be in different format. So all these things you need to standardize. That is part of collecting and preparing the data. Okay, the next core responsibility of the data analyst is to analyze the data. What is this analyzing the data? Analyzing the data meaning, you cannot talk to the data with our raw hands or bare hands. We need to use tools like Python. Okay, we need to use tools like Python. So those tools could be Pandas, those tools could be NumPy, or those tools could be SQL. So through these tools, you need to do some tasks. What are the tasks that you need to do with this while you're analyzing the data? You need to do something called as statistics, stats you need to do. What is the stats? You need to find what is the mean value, what is the variance. Don't worry if you don't understand what is mean, variance, and correlation or not. At the time of coming to this topic, I will explain it to you with a beautiful, simple example. But right now, understand that data analyst should be performing a task on the statistics like finding the mean, variance, correlation, and hypothesis testing. While I'm coming there, I will be explaining what are those in detail. So don't worry about it if you don't know about it. Okay. So tools like, analyzing the data tools, we use Python, Pandas, NumPy, and SQL, and task would be mean value we want to find, variance and correlation, and hypothesis testing. Okay. So while we are doing this one, if you want me to give you an example for this case, I would say that customer who got the two late deliveries in a month are 70% more likely to stop ordering. Say, for example, you are ordering in an e-commerce site and 2 to 3 times your deliveries in a single month have been delayed. And then 60% you are likely that you will not order it once again. Okay. How we have arrived at greater than, two late deliveries, and that 60% or 70%, all those math are based on these calculations. When we come to that junction, I will explain it to you in detail. Customers who got greater than two late deliveries in a month are 60% more likely to stop ordering. So this is the third role of a data analyst. What is the fourth role? The fourth role he has to his core responsibility is to visualize the findings. See, whatever you are finding in data, whatever the patterns or insights you are finding with data, if you are not presenting in a neat story format, or in a graph format, or in a chart format, or in a best appealing visualizing format, then stakeholders, they will not be interested in looking the numbers. They will be more interested in looking at the dashboards, charts, and reports. So in order to help you in that one, we will be using a tools by name Power BI. As I told you, this is a tool owned by Microsoft. And there is another tool, a reporting tool, we call it as Tableau, where this is also owned by, not Microsoft, sorry, this is owned by Informatica. So these tools will help us to present our data in the visually engaging way. Okay, so what are the examples here? Dashboard showing delivery delays, and etc. Okay, let's keep it like that. Okay, what is the fifth most and the last important responsibility of a data analyst? Is to present insights and recommend actions. If you are not presenting insights and recommending actions, then your role is not complete, because you are trying to collect the data, make an, and you're trying to analyze from the data, trying to present it in a neat format, and then you're trying to present insights and recommend actions. So what are the things that you will do here? Say, for example, sales dropped in Q3 in an organization, because delivery delays increased by 40% in region B. Okay, it gives you a solid data why the sales have been dropped. So what is, you are also telling what is the problem. Yeah, you're giving the core problem, root cause of the problem. Is saying sales dropped in Q3 quarter 3 because delivery delays increased by 40% in region B, and also you are trying to give and them an actionable item that is hire more delivery staff in region B. You are not only identifying a problem, you are also trying to solve the problem with an actionable item. So these are the core responsibility of a data analyst. Quickly understand the problem, collect and prepare the data, analyze the data, visualize the finding, and present insights and recommend actions. Clear? Yes. Did you understand the core responsibility of a data analyst?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Now I will give you a real, very important, insightful thing here. That is in the real world. Say, for example, if you are a cook, so how many percentage of your time you spend in cutting vegetables? How much percentage of time you in cooking a food? And how much percentage of time you spend in washing vessels. So if you can get that percentage wise allocation, you will be able to focus more of your time there, because I'm going to give you, I being a data analyst, how much percentage of time I spend in which topic and how important it is, you will be able to understand. Can I give you that information? Because while you are trying to learn data analysis, you need to understand how much percentage of that particular topic you will be using in your day-to-day activities, day-to-day time as a data analyst. Can I give you that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, I would say must learn. If you want to be a data analyst, there is no other go. You need to learn what are the things I'll give you. You need to learn Python for sure. You want to be a data analyst, you need to learn Python, and you need to learn under Python Pandas and NumPy in your real-time work. In your real-time work as a data analyst, 70% you will be using this one. 70% you will be using what? Python, Pandas, and NumPy. And then if you are you need to learn SQL, because this is also very important, and this is used 60 percentage, it is used 60 percentage usage, it is there. And the next thing is statistics is also important. In statistics, you don't have any percentage and all. It is core one thing. As I said, it is everywhere. Okay. So what are the things there? For must learn, what are the things you have? Python is there. Under Python, you need to learn Pandas and NumPy, and that is 75 percentage of your daily work. You will be using it. And SQL also you need to learn, and 60% of the time you will be using SQL. And statistics is core that you need to you will be using it in everywhere. And the next high value that you will be using in your project is this one, industry ready. I would call industry ready, because if you are only learning Python, SQL, and statistics, you are also called a data analyst. But it is not like a cherry on the cake or icing, because this is not of a great demand. Python, SQL, and statistics is the fundamental thing. Only knowing fundamental thing, you cannot claim or you cannot showcase your skill and get a job. You need to know some high value industry ready tools also under data analysis. So under this category, Power BI is one important tool. And also there is another important tool, as I told you, Tableau. This would you will be using 40 to 50 percentage of your usage will be there, and this is very, very important. Power BI and Tableau. And then there is another concept by name hypothesis testing, and feature engineering. Feature engineering. This one you would be spending somewhere around 30 percentage of your usage. Meaning in your day-to-day work, hypothesis testing and feature engineering would demand 30%. Okay, what are the good to have? These skills are good to have, and this is something on advanced and cloud. Advanced and cloud. So advanced and cloud, what are the things that you will be having? Snowflake. Okay, Snowflake and AWS and Spark. How many percentage you will be using in your day-to-day activities? You will be using this one for 10 to 20 percentage. Okay. And the next more relevance, if you are trying to move into artificial intelligence or machine learning, this is something there, it is important. More relevant as you move towards AI and ML engineering.